Hello, everybody. It's Alex, and welcome to my podcast, Listen Within, the podcast that talks about what's going on the inside rather than just on the outside. Now, the outside is a result of what's going on the inside, a reflection, so to speak, a mirror reflection. And so many times we avoid our heart, we also avoid our brain sometimes. There's a time for everything. Yes, it's important to think, but it's also important to feel. But today I want to speak about one important element, and that's called intuition. Everybody has it, and we don't quite understand where it comes from. I do have my point of view where it comes from. I would say it's our connection to the divine. And when we are inside of our hearts, and I spoke about it many, many times on many episodes before, we are in a creative space and there's really nowhere to go. We're just simply in here rather than here. And when we are in survival mode, we panic, we run, we don't know what to do. We're trying to figure out, we're basically fighting with ourselves. As we are inside of our hearts, it is a very different situation simply because it's no longer about struggling, fighting, or searching. It is simply being creative. Now, what are you going to do if one morning you wake up, or maybe in the middle of the night, and you feel something inside isn't right? It's like your gut feel. And I don't say that everything you feel necessarily validates what's happening right now. However, it must come from somewhere. And I had moments like that where in the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep. I wake up and had to take a walk because something felt not right. And when I say something doesn't feel right, I speak about a certain level of disharmony. Now, there are some people that may say, well, it's because you happen to be nervous, or it's your personality, or you're just constantly panicking. But I go much deeper than that. The question is, where does it come from in the first place? And so we all have something inside of us, and we all have traumas, we all have difficulties to deal with, and that affects our daily life. If we don't recognize what's going on, we can't change it. Yeah. Before you want to change anything, you have to acknowledge who you are and what you really want. You most likely you're not going to know what you want and where you're heading if you don't know who you are. Well, who are you? Truthfully, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And as we are here today, I'm here speaking to you in form of this body. I happen to be Alex, and um, I have this shape, but who I really am is what carries this body, and that's what's inside. Now, imagine and just think about it for one moment. Your heart is controlling every organ of your body, and it beats 24 hours. And as long as it beats, you live, you experience everything, you love, you feel, until the heart stops beating. But no one quite really knows who made a heart start and who made the heart stop. So there are people who are going through mentally, physically, or spiritually challenging times. But there's something inside of them that keeps them going. They just keep on pushing, they keep on punching, and they just don't quit. Where does that power come from? What, for example, if you look at to look at the stars at night and you see the moon, what holds the stars? What holds the moon? So what is it that keeps you alive? What is it that keeps you having this drive, wanting to experience, wanting to love, and wanting to live? And I believe that's from the place of divinity. It's inside you. And when something is not aligned, you're going to feel something is off. You may not be able to quite explain where it's coming from. And from a logical perspective, okay, there are many psychologists that finding all kinds of answers, and people who oftentimes want to deceive from the truth also can say whatever they like, can do whatever they want, but you cannot overcome this feeling inside, the soul, so to speak, your spirit. And that inner voice, wherever it comes from, if you tap into the right place, you may want to listen to it. Because oftentimes we are traumatized and think so much with our heads, and we get misguided. We listen to other people's advice, and we don't really, understand anything. So the first thing is recognize who you are. When you recognize who you are, it is much, much easier to tap into this place in here. And then you follow that intuition. So let's say you're on the crossroads, you're going this way, there's a left and there's a right. You can't turn back. So what are you going to do? Turn left or your right? At this moment, you don't really think too much. Should I go left or should I go right? Because now you're stuck, you're in the middle and you can't really move forward at all. Instead, there is a vibration inside. There is something that tells you, just go this way. And don't look back. In that moment, you're in a really, really powerful place, in a very strong place, because you are no longer letting doubts getting into your head. Okay? So, but how do you do the distinction between your intuition and your mind? What is if you trusted a family member, a spouse, or whichever situation is, maybe it's a coworker, and something feels off. You may have been in situations where something was taken from you. You didn't see anything. Somebody has lied to you, but you don't have any proof if this is the truth or not the truth. All you really know, and I believe that every human being has that power of intuition, feels if something is authentic, if something is feeling natural or unnatural. It is natural to be natural and unnatural to be unnatural. Now, why do I speak about this topic? Is simply because this can improve everything in our lives, including our relationships, including our health, our mental health, our spiritual state. Everything that you manifest on, everything that you hold, is a result of what's going on inside. And now you can deny, and you can try to walk through the fire with the head through the wall because you want to achieve this result. You want to create your door and you just want to go this way. That's one way to do it. But I would say it's a rather unhealthy way. Rather than forcing something, I'll give you a good example. You see, like a paper wall, and I take my other hand, and rather than really giving it time and reaching through, we're just forcing paper, and suddenly what happens is it's like going to pieces. There's going to be a big hole, and our body functions similar. If we're putting force on ourselves, if we're forcing something, against nature, there will be a consequence. There will be consequential results. It's very important to be aware of how you want to approach a challenging situation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your job, whether it's your health. Take in consideration what can be done to do better, or what can be done to cause more damage. And naturally, we all want more love, getting more closer to the place of divinity and a solution rather than focusing on the problem. And you probably have noticed that, especially with, let's say, long-term couples, there are disputes or there are fights and there are arguments. And really, what it is just we are limited in our tools of communication, limited in our way of thinking, limited in our vision. And when we're blocked, when we don't know how to reach inside us, that divine place, our intuition, most likely we are causing a distraction. We're distracted, and then will fight our way through this, and it's most likely a more harmful way than peaceful way. If you feel there's something inside of you that tells you something, and no matter what anybody thinks, it feels right to you, it feels natural, listen to it. It may not tell you, okay, what to do immediately, but it will at least give you an opportunity to take a rest, to take a break, listen, breathe, and then determine what you're going to do next, rather than being so irrational and making decisions, because of excitement or disappointments or anger, which oftentimes happened with me too. So you have someone in your life that you love, and there are things that don't feel quite aligned, or they don't feel right. Okay. The first thing is you have a dialogue with yourself. Okay. You speak with yourself. Listen to yourself. Listen to your heart. And then go from there. And then express authentically how you feel. And nevertheless, regardless of what the situation is that you go through, maybe somebody has trying to be very deceptive, deceive you, not telling you the truth, done something behind your back, whatever that is. The question usually is the answer. And rather than jumping to conclusions, and then the next step, what usually happens when you jump to conclusions, you start to judge. Right, wrong, I'm better, you're worse. Leave the judgment out. Okay, you accept what is. You understand who you are. You understand you are in control of your actions, of your emotions, of your thoughts, and think positive things. You accept what you don't like. You change your perspective. That may not be so easy, but it's possible. You change your perspective. If there is some dispute, if there's some things you don't like about a person, something, or someone that you really, really love, the best way to overcome any form of negativity is to really accept, so you can receive abundant love. You listen to your intuition. You understand, okay, this is maybe not what I want in my life. But to change that is to change your perspective and use all your energy to enter a positive zone. Raise your vibration rather than staying down low and going even lower. Leave judgments out. Just make a choice, make a decision. If you chose to stay in your heart, if you want to love, if you want to love someone, the first thing is to simply let go. Not operate in a mode of fear or anger or judgment, but just make a choice. I want to love. I love this person. I love this job. I love this mission. I love this path. Look at the positive things. And I can guarantee you, even if it doesn't show up right away, that your relationships will improve, your job will improve, your activities will improve, your state of mind will improve, your overall health will improve. And for that reason, you have an intuition. Your intuition is there to protect you and to protect someone or to protect yourself. If someone doesn't have really good intentions towards you, that's what your intuition is there for. It helps you protect. But there are situations where some people are not aware that they may cause some harm. And the love that you have for them is so strong that you don't want to lose that love. So it is not always you or the other person who is having some form of negativity. But in life, in general, there are many, many aspects and elements that can cause positive and negative effects. And so when you listen to your intuition, listen to your spirit, listen to your heart as well. Understand who you are, what do you really want, and where to take it from there. Because if you operate in a matter of love, you will never go wrong. So I hope this helped you, and I see you guys next time. This was Alex from my podcast, Listen Within.